If you're a fan of Corpse Bride, then stick around, because you're about to discover 8 behind-the-scenes facts about this stop-motion masterpiece from the mind of Tim Burton. Both Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and Corpse Bride began their productions at the same time, and the overlap presented a big challenge for Tim Burton because he directed both films. He was able to juggle between the two productions by sharing directorial responsibilities with stop-motion animator Mike Johnson, who ran the day-to-day operations, which allowed Tim Burton to be more hands-on with Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Johnny Depp, Helena Bonham Carter, and Christopher Lee were also pulling double duty by filming Charlie and the Chocolate Factory by day and recording their lines for Corpse Bride at night. The premise of a groom-to-be accidentally marrying a corpse sounds like an original story, but it's actually based on an old Jewish folktale called The Finger. The movie follows the original tale quite closely, as it is about a young bridegroom who slips his wedding ring onto the finger of a corpse while practicing his vows, and then she springs to life to claim her new husband. But unlike the movie, the man then brings his spouse before a local rabbi who annuls their marriage by declaring that the dead can't lay claim to the living. And then the corpse falls apart into a pile of disjointed bones, never to rise again. The bride's veil was one of the most complicated props in the entire film to create. It was no easy task because it had to be transparent and float like it was underwater. After 4 months of research, the crew put together a transparent veil with nearly invisible wires stitched into the fabric. They also used mushroom-looking stumps that the dress flowed over to create the look of the fabric blowing in the wind. This was the first time mechanical faces were used to create the facial animations. In previous films, the heads and/or mouths were simply replaced to create their expressions. But for Corpse Bride, the character's head was filled with tiny gears that could be turned to change the expressions. The new technology did give the characters' emotions more depth, but it came at a cost, because the robotics were reportedly more tedious to work with than to simply swap out the heads. Stop-motion animation legend Ray Harryhausen inspired Tim Burton, who credited Harryhausen with fueling his passion for stop-motion animation. And you can see an homage to the animation legend when Victor plays the piano right before he meets Victoria, and Harryhausen's last name is engraved on the instrument. Tim Burton's frequent musical collaborator, Danny Elfman, created the upbeat jazzy tune Remains of the Day to explain the bride's backstory, and he always envisioned Bone Jangles with a raspy voice. But after auditioning more than 20 different men for the song, Elfman couldn't find anyone that had the right voice, so Tim Burton asked the composer to sing it himself. Producing the raspy voice wasn't a cakewalk for Elfman either though, because he said it was really brutal in his vocal cords, as he was hoarse after every recording session. Corpse Bride was originally going to be shot on film, but just 2 weeks before production began, a couple visual effects supervisors suggested the animation team explore the possibility of using digital cameras. The cameras won over the animators once they discovered that the new technology would allow them to view the dailies immediately, which would dramatically improve how fast they could complete their work. Most live-action movies take about 4 months to film, but for Corpse Bride, it took almost a year to film the animations, which was a drastic improvement over the 3 years it took to create The Nightmare Before Christmas. Click a video on the screen for more facts about other movies on the channel, so you can discover more fun facts about your favorite films.